the market. But the thing that was really interesting for the Padres involves the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox are still fielding offers on star closer Kenley Jansen and others. They have a deep stash of outfield prospects, which has teams asking about Jarren Duran. San Diego Padres need outfielders. They need multiple outfielders. They currently only have one starting outfielder and then a couple other players that I guess they could throw out there. I mean, Jose Azocar's working his ass off. I'd love for him to be like a stud out of nowhere, but there's no guarantees in that. The Padres, seeking left-handed hitting outfielders, are interested in Jarren Duran. And the Padres and Dodgers are among candidates for Kenley Jansen, but San Diego may be more interested in a starter like Hyunjin Ryu. Hyunjin Ryu is a free agent. You can go pick him up if you wanted to. As for Kenley Jansen, he's got 1 year left on his contract. It's 1 year, $16 million. Not necessarily something that the San Diego Padres can afford, per se. We've talked about that. They're trying to stay under the luxury tax. But I'm sure the Red Sox want to get rid of that contract. Jarren Duran, as of right now, is not even in arbitration yet. So he's not going to be making a lot of money. So you could get two for the price of one by acquiring Kenley Jansen. We asked the question yesterday on Andy Nelson, would you rather have Hyunjin Ryu or Jarren Duran if you can only have one? It sounds like the asking price for both is significantly high. Would you part ways with Ha-Seong Kim to get Jarren Duran? That's an intriguing question to me. Would you part ways with Ha-Seong Kim to get Jarren Duran? You have middle infield help. You hang on to your prospects. You got Jackson Merrill coming up the ranks. You got to find a spot for Jake Cronenworth to play. You can't be going into the season with him playing first base, although it seems like that's what they're going to do. And you got tons of control of Jarren Duran. I mean, Jarren Duran is 27 years old. He played at Long Beach State. He's under contract till 2029. Maybe the Red Sox trade for Ha-Seong Kim, sign him to a contract extension. Becomes their everyday starting shortstop. I know they gave Trevor Story a lot of money. He missed all of last year. He's 31 years old. I'd probably do that. I could do that. But the Kenley Jansen thing's intriguing to me. Obviously, the Red Sox are trying to get rid of that contract. Padres are in no place to take on contracts. But that being said, by acquiring Kenley Jansen, can you use some of that bullpen capital to go get a starting pitcher or go get another outfielder? So you make a trade for Jarren Duran and Kenley Jansen, and then do you flip Jansen? Or do you flip one of your bullpen pieces? Do you flip one of your young pitching prospects? Because you have all these bullpen pieces. I mean, you got a ton of guys in your bullpen. I mean, I pulled up the list the other day. You have a ton of bullpen help, which is great for the postseason. But the reality is, bullpen teams don't usually go very far. It's teams with starting pitcher. Let's look at the bullpen. I mean, these are guys that are expected to be in the bullpen. Robert Suarez, Johnny Brito, Tom Cosgrove. You got Wilson, you got De Los Santos, you got Go, you got Matsui. You just picked up Wendy Peralta. That still leaves guys like Groom and Otto and Vasquez and Jacob and Gillespie and Morahone. Kolek's got to be on your team all year because you picked him up in the Rule 5 draft unless you send him back to Seattle. You got Luis Patino. You got a lot of arms. You add Kenley to that. Add Kenley to the bullpen with Suarez, with Peralta, with Go, with Matsui. You could trade some of those younger prospects. You could trade some of those younger arms. Maybe you flip one of those arms that you got back from New York and you go get a young starting pitcher or you go get another outfielder. You can get an everyday major league outfielder for some of these guys. A guy like Vasquez, a guy like Drew Thorpe. I don't want to see them go, but you could potentially try to start moving some pieces around. The thing with me with the Jansen deal is I don't think Padres being interested in Kenley Jansen means they really want Kenley Jansen as part of their bullpen. I think it means they're willing to make a trade and they're going to load up on an asset that is affordable. Here's the thing. The most affordable asset to anybody on their team is bullpen pieces because they cost the least amount of money, aside from closers. Kenley Jansen could be your closer. Move everybody up a spot. I'm not against it. I don't mind it. But that being said, it sounds like the asking price for Jarren Duran is very high. So I don't know what that means. I mean, he's got a lot of years of control. He is 27 years old, a little up there in age. I don't necessarily know if I'm trading Jackson Merrill for him. Because I'd rather have the 20-year-old with years of control than the 27-year-old with years of control. And I know he's played in the major leagues. But I think Jackson Merrill being part of the organization in the next 5 years is better than Jarren Duran being part of the organization for the next 5 years. You're trying to save money here. The way you save money is by having guys like Jackson Merrill on the team. Not guys like Jarren Duran about to go through arbitration. The guys that haven't been through it. Those first 3 years before they're arbitration eligible. That is better. I would give up some pitching for him, though. Some bullpen pitching. Maybe some of the young guys the Red Sox might be interested in. If you get Kenley in return, as well as Jarren Duran. Bullpen's legit with Suarez, Go, Matsui, Peralta, Kenley. That makes it even more badass than it already is. That's your biggest asset right now if you're the San Diego Padres. Their bullpen. Their bullpen's legit. It's pretty good. You got a lot of dudes that throw sliders and hard fastballs and guys that people don't want to face late in games. I mean, the Padres bullpen is like a vintage bullpen right now that you've seen out of the San Diego Padres. You get to the sixth inning with a lead, ball game. Padres win. Start ringing the bell. Get the fryer over there, start ringing the bell. Which might be the only way for this team to be able to compete in 2024, which is fine. I talked about it last week on the show. I think the Padres' future is good. I really do. It depends. Now, it depends on the money. From what I've been told, it sounds like they're going to go back to business as usual for the Padres in 2025. I could buy that. We'll see what happens. But you still got to be able to compete in 2024 if you want to continue to tell your fans that this is a year that you're not punting on. They got enough stars that they could get the job done, but they do need to get some outfield help. I think the wheels are turning for A.J. Preller. Here's the other thing. Scott Boras has everybody on hold right now. A lot of these big candidates need to go off the board before you can start making moves. You got to start seeing actually how these rosters start forming, who starts making teams, and who needs what. Then you can start making some serious deals. And we've seen A.J. Preller make a lot of deals in spring training. You got Erie Fan Geek. First of all, my name's spelled Braden, not with a Y. Duran has 5 years of control and is a proven center fielder. The asking price is going to be for someone like Jackson Merrill or get out of town if I was Boston. Well, the thing with Jackson Merrill is he fits everything that you need him to do for the organization in the next 5 to 10 years. You have to keep some of those guys part of your organization. I agree with the prospect thing. It's no guarantee that he's going to be good. I mean, Jarren Duran's a solid outfielder, but again, he's up there in age. You have to view it as who makes your team better in the next 5 years, Jarren Duran or Jackson Merrill? I think it might be Jackson Merrill. In the next 5 years, it might be Jackson Merrill. You know, Jarren Duran's my age, 27 years old. I'm 28, whatever, same thing. 295, 2.1 overall WAR. You know, not a high home run guy. It was a 121 OPS plus last year, 332 at bats, 98 hits. He's played a couple of seasons already in the major leagues. Good, solid player. 258 batting average career, 729 OPS. He's got a career OPS plus of 96. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to trade Jackson Merrill for a guy whose OPS plus is 96. The sample size's still small. I mean, the guy's only played 193 ball games in his career for Jarren Duran. And what I'm saying is he's already 27 years old. Are you trading for another Jake Cronenworth? It's possible. You never know. Jarren Duran hit 215 his first year, 221 his second year, and had a big year last year in 102 games in 362 plate appearances. I mean, it's still relatively a small sample size for this guy. Jarren Duran is definitely going to be better for the Padres in the next 2 years, but can he consistently do that through his 30s? I don't know. That's a tough one to me. I don't want to trade Merrill either. I think in the next 5 years, Jackson Merrill probably does more for you than Jarren Duran, if that happens to be what the asking price is. I was told from the situation that the asking price for Jarren Duran is ridiculous. But I'm sure A.J. Preller is going to keep kicking the tires on it because it would be a good upgrade for the outfield. I mean, anything right now in the outfield is better than what you currently have, which is just Fernando trying to play all three spots. So I'll take Jackson Merrill in the future. I don't want to put him in the outfield, though. Absolutely not. Do not want to put him in the outfield. The Jarren Duran conversation is intriguing. Hyun-Jin Ryu, I know we talked about that a little bit yesterday on Annie and Elston, but Hyun-Jin Ryu, to me, is not worth what you'd have to pay to bring him in. I mean, he's going to want like 10 million plus. I don't want Hyun-Jin Ryu for 10 million plus. I know you need more arms, but if I only have like 18 million to spend, 10 million of it isn't going to Hyun-Jin Ryu. Unless that price goes down because he can't find any other home. I'm not doing it. Absolutely not. I'm reading the comments here. Yeah, Ryu's going back to Korea. I think that's probably legit. He's probably going back to Korea. I do agree with that. And here's the deal. Like in the chat on YouTube, if you want to weigh in again, follow us on YouTube. I agree with Erie Fan Geek on a sense that, yeah, the guy hadn't played a lot yet, but you do need. I mean, the Padres' biggest problem has been trading away all their prospect capital all the time. They got to keep somebody. And Jackson Merrill, as of right now, seems to be that somebody. And I'm not convinced that Jarren Duran can have the season that he had last year each and every year. I mean, last year was a great season for him. He hit 295. But the 2 seasons before, again, he didn't play a lot of games. He hit under 230. His OPS plus wasn't very high. His career OPS plus is below an average Major League Baseball player. Maybe you think you could strike gold with him as a 27-year-old and a 28-year-old. And maybe a 29-year-old, or maybe you're getting Jake Cronenworth. I mean, is he going to fall off? We don't know. I mean, I don't think there's enough to part ways with a guy that's expected to have a high value and be better than that. I think it's an interesting conversation.